I get those goosebumps every time.
I just have to get the big fella off the bench.
Could this be their last chance now? In it comes, Monster to the far post! He scored! The Honey Monster scored!
I'm way too numb, yeah. Is it way too numb, yeah? I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hind to throw that to the side, I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713 through the 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me outside? I'm sipping low-key and honest, my rider. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those times, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hind.
Yes! Get in! Get in! Get in!
Love it, boys. Love it. Love it. What a win. Welcome, everyone, to Loaded Mag. Sorry, we lost ourselves a bit there. What a fantastic win. What an absolutely fantastic win. But listen, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. We, as you will well know, we are here to talk about the Chelsea review. So following on from the match earlier on today at 3 o'clock, where Newcastle won the match 4-1. But before we get into it, boys, Dazzler, how are you doing?
I'm good, Chris. Yes, the weekend, we're just after spanking Chelsea 4-1 at home. With all the injuries we have, hey, Summer, with all the injuries we have, and just great to be able to feel the team and then to do it so convincingly. And the other thing is, like we're only getting started on this project. As we said so many times, we're building for the future. We haven't spent that much money. Imagine being a Chelsea fan and having spent all that money. Imagine how they must feel. Actually, imagine the average Chelsea fan, how they would feel.
I don't understand. We've spent 1 billion and we're still 10th. I thought we were back, but we're still shit.
No, you can't disagree with that. They are still shit. Sorry, Summer.
Someone's excited. You were watching a bit of the match, weren't you? Yeah, we watched a bit of the match. It was all good. All good. But Pete, how are you doing, mate? How are you?
Not too bad at all. In fact, more than not too bad. I am absolutely buzzing tonight. Absolutely buzzing at that result. Summer, you need to tell your dad to make sure he gets you a black and white top for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. You need one, don't you?
Yeah.
Black and white shirt.
Put it on your list, is what we should say.
She's got it. I think she's off.
Absolutely, yeah. Love it. Absolutely buzzing. If that weren't a statement, I don't know what was. It was superb. Look, we're going to get into it, but I am absolutely buzzing right now, and I hope everyone else is in the chat. I've asked everyone to put their comments in. Let us know how you're feeling tonight. Now we're 3 points better off, up there in the league. Another 4 goals in the bank. Come on, get in.
Smash that like button as well. Make sure you do. We set a target. How about 400 likes? 100
likes
for each of the goals we scored.
That sounds fair.
There we go.
That sounds fair. Yeah.
There we go. On the button as always. Love it.
Multitasking. See that? Brilliant. Right. Well, before we kick off, boys, I just want to say, I know Pete started doing this, and I think it's a really good thing to do. So obviously, big shout out to everyone in the chat. So the likes of Jamie Brewerton, Jimmy Moore, great to see you as always, mate. Harry, Jason Scott, Jake Curtin, Simon PBA, Bill Ashby, Geordie Tune for Life, Andrew DB, Chris Dawson, loads of regulars in the chat, which is great. Kamal, Maggie, of course, Sum's friend Maggie, she's in the chat. 9 goals, David Cook, Senk. We're all here tonight. Jimmy Watt, we're all here, and we're all really, really excited. So thank you very much for tuning in. At this point, I'm going to pass you over to Daz, because Daz always does a really comprehensive review of the show. And because I was out today with my friends and Sums, I did see the game and I did see the goals, but unfortunately all the wives were like this. So I didn't quite catch the commentary. I didn't quite catch everything. So I'm actually looking forward to Daz giving us a brief summary of how the game unfolded. So go for it, Daz.
Okay. Right, first up is the team sheet, and I seem to have missed out on the Chelsea team, but not to worry. I did have it downloaded, but here is the Newcastle team. What did you make of this, lads? Okay, the big news was obviously that Willock is out, injured again with Achilles. Then Longstaff is out, confirmed out. Kind of an excellent first 11, but the bench is looking a bit weaker. With 3 keepers, 4 under-21s, and Dummett and Ritchie in there as well. So no Kraft either. No Kraft after he played for Sweden as well. But what did you make of the lineup?
Go on, Pete. You go, mate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit deflated seeing that Willock wasn't in. Someone just put in there actually. Put it in the chat. I'll just click it up 1 second. Question, guys, please. Any news on how bad Joe Willock? On how bad Joe Willock's out for? Can't believe he pulled up again. It doesn't look good. He's done his Achilles again. So yeah, I think it's a reoccurrence. Eddie Howe said after the game, so that's not good. But to see another injury pop up again when the lineup's about to come out, it just deflated me. I'm not gonna lie, it really did. And then, as Daz has just said, you look at the bench, you think, how are we going to continue in this game without options off the bench? Players are going to tire and all the rest of it. Of course, it didn't matter, but it did deflate me. I'm not going to lie. And then seeing Chelsea's lineup and some of the options they had maybe coming off the bench that could affect the game, that's where you thought that it might change for me. But the lineup in itself, the 11 in itself, I wasn't concerned about it. I actually thought it's a good 11. It's 11 that can take it to Chelsea, no doubt about it. Young Miley in the team have to give out the shout out to Segs in the Geordie's Down South chat, because we were kind of toing and froing, because he was adamant that Miley was going to start anyway, even if Longstaff and Willock were fit. And I was going, nah, he ain't going to start. Those boys are going to start ahead of him. This, that, and the other. Which is a fair point, and obviously we'll talk about what happened after that. But yeah, they were kind of my initial thoughts as the lineup comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I was similar to you, Pete. I've got to admit, I was just relieved. I went on live score and I pinched up. I always do it dead slow to build the drama, so I pinched up, and as soon as I seen Gordon, Isak, and Miggy, I was just happy because when those 3 are in your team and they're your forward attacking options, you've always got a chance. So that was really good to see. Shout out to your mate there, Pete Segs, for calling Miley, because I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think Miley would start. With Bruno coming back, I just automatically assumed, and I think we said, didn't we, on away days, that Longstaff would play if fit, and if not, it would be Willock. So maybe that's what's called it. Maybe that's what's brought Miley in. But I'm sure we'll get to Miley a bit later on. But yeah, other than what I've just said, like, the back 4 goalie was pretty much, as expected. It was just like Pete. It was just that bench. It was just a bit like, oof. Like, as soon as we get to 60, 70 minutes, if we're really battling and we're really trying to, either come back or try and push on, when you've got those limited options on the bench, it's very difficult. But thankfully, we didn't have that problem. So yeah, they were my thoughts. That was on the lineup.
Cool. Let's move on. Let's go right through the game, and I'll try and go as fast as possible. There's a few goals to talk about, so expect this to be. You don't always have that, but anyway, the first 10 minutes, barely half chances for either side, really. Then on the 12th minute, an absolutely class little pass from Lewis Miley to pick out Isak. There's the Iceman on hand. Bang. 1-0 Newcastle. The defense did go missing. Cucurella did kind of wander off. But what a goal to start us off after 12 minutes. Thoughts on the first goal? Pete, we'll go to you first.
When I saw that was my reaction. I was like, woo! You know that emoji where it's got like the puff of smoke.
The puff of smoke. I use that all the time. Yeah.
It's one of those ones because he is ice cold in front of goal. You are absolutely right, Daz. It reminded me a little bit of the Liverpool goal on his debut, the way in which he just kind of dispatches the ball. He's a cold killer in front of goal. He really is, and it was a great goal. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried early on in the game because Chelsea were really kind of coming at us, really kind of trying to sort of press early on, but we built into the game. And it was almost like the goal kind of kicked us into gear because we were really good after that. And we really kind of dominated the game. And it looked like we were going to get a second. But look, Lewis Miley, 17 years old, boys, 17 years old. And to have the calm composure to find that pass there. Eddie Howe was right in what he said. Any player in that position, if that was Bruno or anybody else, would have flicked in their mind to shoot at that moment because the opportunity arrived and he wouldn't have been begrudged to take that shot. But the intelligence to just drill that pass, he literally drilled it in to Isak. But then you've got to give the praise to Isak after that because it's drilled into him. But his first touch kills it dead. That guy's first touch is unbelievable. Kills it dead, picks it out of his feet, and just slices it into the far corner. And wow, what a start is what I'll say. Brilliant piece of football. Great technique from both players, and we're 1-0 up. And it just changed the course of the game at that point. Certainly in the first half. Brilliant goal from both aspects. And it's great to see Miley get an assist on his name because he manipulates the ball really, really well. And it was good to see him. Good to see it come to fruition, should we say, in that he gets kind of the rewards of that with an assist.
Yeah, just
your thoughts on Isak and his goal.
Yeah, just to add to what Pete said. Really, I completely agree. Like I was going mad in my mate's living room with the Isak goal, and I was going, look how calm that was. You know, cool. I didn't say Iceman, but I was saying cool and calm and whatever. And like, you know, because obviously they're Reds and they'd just seen Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, ping one in against Man City. They were like, oh, it wasn't that good. And I was like, just watch the replay. Just watch the replay. It's the touch. He sorts his feet out and then he just buries it. Keeper's got no chance. And then when you look back at it, you're absolutely right, Pete. And we've seen that Lewis Miley isn't afraid to have a shot at goal. We've seen that. But for that split second, he's just gone, oh, Isak's on his own there. I'll slot it through to him. Brilliant ball. And for someone so young to again show that he makes the right decisions, it's really exciting because a lot of kids his age, even players who are older than Lewis Miley, would have just had a shot and no one would have begrudged him it. You're absolutely right. Yeah, a couple of people may have gone, oh look, Isak was free, but for him to quickly look up and think, oh, you know, this is the better option, I'll give it to Isak. And Isak finished it with aplomb. Absolute belter finish. And I made up for Isak because it, you know, gets him back in the team, and he gets that early goal, and confidence will be sky high now. So yeah, and you're absolutely right, Pete. It kind of gave us the confidence to kind of work into the game then, because my concern was if Chelsea get the first goal, will heads start to go a little bit, and will we be a little bit defensive and be like, oh, can't concede a second one. It was the perfect time, and it was really important we got the first goal, and that was in large down to Lewis Miley.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah.
Let's rock on a bit. So 21 minutes. Trippier. Yeah, this is where it all started to go wrong for a small bit. Trippier got a yellow card for a professional foul. Yeah,
that was
Lascelles kind of lost,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
That
and it was it the one on Reece James? Was it? Oh my
Sterling.
Was it on Sterling? Yeah, I thought it was Sterling.
Sterling. Sorry,
this is the one that leads to the equaliser, because if it is, then it's
yes.
Yeah.
Sterling. Yeah. So the Lascelles kind of getting.
Sorry to interrupt, Daz. Did you boys think it was a foul? People in the chat as well. Do you think it was a foul?
No.
I thought it was a foul.
You thought it was?
I thought it was a foul.
I thought
professional foul.
I thought it was harsh. I thought why in that? This is why I think it was harsh. Why in that position, when Sterling is ahead of Trippier and faster than him, why do you slow down when you're in on goal? Like, why would you do that? It makes no sense whatsoever. You drive through to goal.
I was looking for it.
I think he bought it.
Looking for it, and that was the thing. And I thought the ref might have thought about that. Like, why would you stop? Because it was running, then just stopped. I don't get it. Maybe I'm being harsh on the situation. There wasn't that much contact from Trippier, although there is kind of an arm there, but it's more to kind of get out of the way of him than anything else, because he just comes to a hole. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was just my thoughts.
I thought it was a foul. I thought it was Trippier knew what he was doing there. He nearly got away with it, but I think his leg just tipped him and threw him off. But anyway, look at Sterling stepped up, put the free kick away. It was a good free kick. Fairness, he got it over the wall and got it down. And Pope didn't have. Some people were saying then that Pope should have dived, but it was well placed.
I've got something to say on that. Yeah.
Go on, say it.
No, I was just going to say. I'm not taking anything away from Raheem Sterling. It was a good free kick, not denying that. But my initial thought when it went in live was, he's done well to get it over the wall. But I was like, why hasn't Pope moved? And when I watched it back, me and the lads, as I say, were discussing it at the time when it went in. And I went, if that's top bins, I've got no complaints. And when you watch it back, I'd say it's a good foot and a half away from the post. And I thought, well, as a goalie, and again, I'm not a goalie and I've never been a goalie, but I always thought that goalkeepers stood away so they line the wall up, they move away from the wall so that they can see the ball, and then they're expecting the player to try and put the ball over the wall. So as Kevin Trippier does. But like I would have thought that Nick Pope would be on his toes, waiting, and as soon as Raheem Sterling strikes that ball, he's moving across to try and anticipate it. Now Nick Pope stands still, and I'm like, it was as if he didn't know that Raheem Sterling was going to do that, and I thought, well, that was genuinely the aim. The ball was, comfortably the ball was comfortably away from the 18-yard box, which gave him plenty of time to get his foot under it, dip it, and put it over. So I'm thinking, maybe I'm being harsh, and I'd love to hear your boys' opinions on it. But when I watched it back, if it was right in the top bin and Pope had dived and couldn't get it, fine. I've got no problem at all with that. But when I watch the replay, it's actually a good foot and a half away from the post. And Nick Pope, there was an angle, I think it showed it behind the net. And Nick Pope's like that. Like, he can't believe it. And I'm thinking, well, how do you not believe it? Because you knew that's probably what he was going to do. So I was a little bit disappointed, if I'm honest. But again, people in the chat let me know. You boys let me know whether I'm being harsh.
Well, I was watching it on Premier Sports, so it was shown in Ireland live, so it's great actually. And the games on where they're all midweek, I think between 5th and 7th of December, all the games are going to be shown, so that's going to be good as well. But Shea Given goes that Sir Bobby Robson used to say, "You're not going to save it with your eyes, son." That was his line. So make sure you make a dive. In other words, so interesting one that he said. But right, 1-1 at this stage. And then 4 minutes later, we should have been 2-1 up. But J7 had from the corner diving header. How did he miss that? It was on the plate for him, really. Don't know. Even and Neil Lennon was the other one in the Premier Sports. He said that they were trying to make excuses that he's not long back from the international trip, but even if he only got back last night, he said that he should have buried that one.
It's harder to miss.
Anyway, it is hard to miss.
You're right.
But sorry, Daz, just to kind of jump in. This is the thing with Joe Linton, is that he scored 7 goals last season, and it was a good return for him. He probably should have scored 10 or 11 last season, because he missed chances like that last season, and he's missed a few of them this season. And this is probably one of maybe two things that you would only really question with Joelinton. One is his ability on the ball, because his ability on the ball and to manipulate plays isn't at the level of Bruno or a high level. Everything else makes up for that, but it's misses chances like that. Chances like that need to be put away. So he'll put away a header, a great header, like, for example, against Leicester at the King Power last season, bullet header into the corner. He knows what he wants to do. He'll put chances away like against Tottenham and West Ham away, but then he misses chances like that, and you think, you got to put them away. If you're a Brazilian international, you got to be putting them away, because you don't get many chances like that in games. That's the only thing. That and his manipulation of the ball are the two things really that I would only question on Joelinton. And he has to improve that. He has to put those balls away.
And he certainly made up for it a bit later on, didn't he?
He did, in fairness to him. Let's get to that. So Newcastle did up the tempo, but Pope had to make two good saves then. One from Enzo Fernandez on the 31st minute, and then the following corner as well, he saved again. At 35 minutes, Pope then did the usual. Not great at his feet sometimes. But his clearance / pass out was kind of a miss hit. Went to Gallagher, and he missed it. Then 42 minutes, Trippier free kick, hit the crossbar, and then J7 got a stupid yellow card where he raised his kind of arm too high. But that took us to halftime, 1-1 at the break. What are you thinking then, lads, at that stage at halftime? Chris?
I was feeling confident, I'll be honest. I thought, you know what, as I say, I don't really know what I was expecting, but I thought Chelsea would be more dominant. I saw lots of positives. Like, obviously, yes, Joelinton missed that header, but I thought, you know what, we're really in this game. We were far more in the game than I thought we'd be. Yes, I know we're at home. Yes, I know Chelsea have only had a couple, maybe 3 good games of late. But, you know, let's not forget they put 4 against Tottenham. They put 4 against Man City. And Poch looked, like they look like they've got a bit of momentum. So I always thought today was going to be a difficult game. I think I said in the predictions at night it was going to be 1-1. I thought it was going to be a tight game, but I was pleased at half time because I thought we're in this. Like, we've got a really good chance. And I'm not underestimating having the likes of Bruno and Isak back. It's huge. So you always feel like you've got half a chance when you've got those two lads on the pitch. So I personally, going into half time, I felt pretty good.
I know Pete, you had us down for 2-1, same as myself, and I know Dr. Doom had us down for defeat. So sorry, Keith. But at halftime, Pete, where do you think we were in the game? Would you have settled for the draw at that stage, or do you think did you think we could go on to win it?
Yeah, no, not at all. I didn't want the draw. As Chris said, we were still in the game. I'm always confident when we're shooting to the Gallagher second half. When we're shooting downhill traditionally, second half, I'm always confident because I always think there's a chance. There's that obviously special element of shooting down to the Gallagher second half. Teams try to kind of turn it around, all the rest of it, but I'm always confident in that we're going to create chances second half. The only thing I was worried about is again, we talked about it before, is options off the bench, players tiring. That was the only thing that I was worried about. But I thought, although they had more shots on target, I thought we were better on the ball. We manipulated the ball better. I think we looked like the better team, and it made me laugh really because I was watching the game. I always do this thing. I'm watching the game legally, by the way, on my TV in the kitchen, and then I've got a direct view into the lounge, and I've got Sky Sports News on. And Paul Merson loves to do a Chelsea game. Obviously, he's a Chelsea fan, although he's an Arsenal legend. Figure that one out. But he just loves to talk up Chelsea. And for the whole of that first half, all he wanted to do was big up Chelsea. And he's bigging up Chelsea on one screen, and I'm watching the other, and I'm thinking, they ain't that good. Hope made one decent save from Enzo. And they scored a really good free kick, but in game, they didn't create nothing. They created absolutely nothing in that game, and he had them down as a better team. Whereas we were dominating possession, we were up their pitch more often. I just was confident that we were going to be able to turn them over.
Cool. Let's get into the second half. So straight from the kickoff, more or less, Lascelles, another professional foul. He got an arm on Jackson, took a yellow card for it. They got a free kick, and we're probably wary of that after the free kick in the first half. But yeah, it went over the bar this time. Chelsea kind of did up the tempo a bit, but on 59 minutes, great ball in from Gordon, and some header from Lascelles. Bang, 2-1 Newcastle. That is how to head a ball, Joe Linton. Take some heading practice from Lascelles. But fair play to Lascelles, some goal. Chris, your thoughts on that goal?
Brilliant goal. But again, for me, well, there was two things that made that goal. The first one was the ball from Anthony Gordon. Absolutely delicious ball. Like he hits it from a funny angle, but he puts that much bend and whip on it. All the defenders, if you're not in the right position, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble, because as soon as the ball started to, lower down, Jamal Lascelles anticipates it brilliantly, and the Chelsea defenders are nowhere to be seen. And that was my second point. Like, the marking was absolutely atrocious, but I'm not taking anything away there from Jamal Lascelles, because I think he timed his run perfectly, and he still had a bit to do. Still had to put the ball in the onion bag, and didn't he do that well? So yeah, absolutely fantastic finish, and set us on our way.
It sure did. Pete, your thoughts on the Lascelles goal?
It was a classic Jamal Lascelles goal. He is such a threat. He's such a threat in the opposition's area. He's probably the biggest threat of all of our centre-backs in the opposition's area, and it was great to see him in there. Chris is absolutely right. The delivery was outstanding onto a tee. You're right, Chris. You could argue the marking wasn't great. Couldn't care less.
Nope.
I'm glad it wasn't great. But Lascelles being in there where the ball was kind of recycled back at, he could have quite easily made his run back to get back into position and make sure he's defending. But he's there. He puts the ball in the net, puts it in the one area that the goalkeeper can't get anywhere near. It's right into the side netting. It's a fantastic finish, and not an easy one either, which is why he needs to get his respect for that goal, because that is not an easy finish. The way he directs that, the power, the pace, keeper's getting nowhere near that, and it's a great goal. And you know what? Fair play to him. Like, I'll touch on ourselves in a bit, but fair play to the lad, because it was a lovely goal.
Nice one. Let's move on. 61 minutes. Because as I was writing down that Lascelles goal, and I text you, I look up and what? Because
you literally sent a voice note, didn't you? Like about 30 seconds later, because I was behind because I was watching it on the stream, and like it was like yes, and I was like what? And then I thought, oh, I'll have to wait here, and I couldn't believe it, because as I was listening to the voice note, looking down, I looked up and Joe Linton had the ball, and I was like, how's he got the ball there? But yeah, sorry, Rob.
Yeah, I know. Thiago Silva fucked up. J7 robs the ball off his Brazilian colleague and puts the ball in the back of the net. 3-1 Newcastle. Cue the celebration from Joe Linton. And it looked like this could be our day at this stage. 3-1 up, no coming back here. Pete, let's go to you with your thoughts on Joe Linton's goal.
It's a great goal. It's a great goal from our point of view, and it came at an absolute perfect time. Normally, you'd expect Chelsea to come out and respond, but we had our tails up and we were properly at it at that point, and it's great work from Joe Linton. As Chris mentioned before, we talked about the miss, and I mentioned about he can't miss those sorts of chances. He can't keep missing those sorts of chances. But then he goes and creates a chance out of absolutely nothing. And, we have Thiago Silva to thank for that. He's obviously apologised and took all the blame from a Chelsea perspective with his statement that he put out after the game. It was poor. But Joe Linton put him under pressure and made that mistake. And that's what Joe Linton does so well. He's big, he's imposing, he's strong. He's as tough as nails. And Thiago Silva will know about Joe Linton being Brazilian brothers, but the way he dispatched that ball, some people get one-on-ones and don't know how to finish that, but the way he smashed that into the bottom corner was superb, and he smashed it so hard he nearly lost his footing and smashed himself into the post. He had to save himself last minute, which I thought was a great save because we don't want any more injuries, Joe Linton. Thank you so much for saving yourself. But you look at the emotion on his face and what he shows afterwards, and that was probably partly frustration of the first missing the first half, but also knowing that he'd effectively won Newcastle United the game. Because at that point, I was more than confident that we were going to go on and see that game through. It's very rare that we don't kind of go on and see a game through, particularly if we're more than 2 goals or 2 goals or more ahead. And it was beyond what I thought we would do today. So I was absolutely buzzing. I apologize to my little boy. I scared him a little bit when the ball went in. And he was there just doing his nice little drawings right next to everything over the other side of the kitchen. And I'd say, we scored.
Again.
And there's a reason behind that, is because one of his teachers at his school is a Chelsea fan who was actually in the away end today. He kept telling him over the weeks to come home and tell me that Chelsea are going to batter Newcastle. So my boy was coming over saying, Chelsea are going to beat Newcastle. My teacher keeps saying to me. So I'll be sending the message back on Monday.
Oh, right, yeah.
I've been drumming that into my little boy. So he'll be going back with some good old messages from us.
Or even just that, Pete. That'll do it.
Yeah.
That should do the trick.
Get the fingers right, though.
Yeah.
Little finger. 4 fingers. But yeah,
why did he come home early from school today?
Been sent home. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll forget the fingers.
Yeah, no fingers.
Draw a picture.
Only words. Like that. Only words.
Yeah.
Chris, your thoughts on Joe Linton's goal?
Yeah, so like I had to watch it back for the second time because like the first, obviously, I was gonna jump in when Pete said about Joe Linton's like clinical finish. It was quite emphatic, wasn't it? Because when I watched it back, I thought, Jesus, he didn't half put his foot through that, and I think he was about 6 yards out. But yeah, you saw how much it meant to him. He let out a lot of frustration in the celebration. Obviously very excited, made up. And I completely agree with what Pete just said then. I think he knew he just got us the 3 points, and it was through hard work and endeavour. Because, you know, a fantastic centre-back like Thiago Silva doesn't make mistakes like that very often. And Joe Linton, you know, maybe you could argue Joe Linton forced him into it because Thiago Silva saw him coming. So without Joe Linton running through, putting him under pressure, maybe he wouldn't have, you know, miskicked the ball. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I like Pete. As soon as it went to 3-1, I thought, yeah, we've done this. We've got this in the bag. And then it was just about making sure that we didn't get too over exuberant or push too hard and then concede and then backs to the wall. Because as everyone knows, a 2-goal lead, it doesn't guarantee you a win. It's you know, it's still in the balance because if they pull one back, it's only 1 goal in it. So yeah, but no, great finish and made up for Joe Linton.
Deadly. Yeah, I think I put in our chat in saying 80 minutes, Eddie, for still 3-1 up, bring on us up. He listened after that. But I want to shout out to Daniel Much. Daniel, thank you very much for the donation to the channel.
Thank you,
he asked the question, who's this Cole Palmer everyone has been chatting about? I thought he was meant to be playing today. Maybe he couldn't see him in Gordon's shadow. So I have an answer for you here, Daniel. Do you remember Carlton Palmer? Well, Cole Palmer is his son. Used to play for Sheffield Wednesday. That is truth. Would I lie to you? Right. No, he's a young man that came from Man City. I know you're not actually asking the question, but yeah, no, he's had a he was okay, but yeah, he got taken off in the game and after later on. We'll get to that. I get that little bit, but any other comments on this one from Daniel?
Just before I do comment on that, I hope Gareth Southgate was watching the game today, because Anthony Gordon was outstanding, and you know he really stood out. And I know Gareth Southgate said he was close to the squad, but why is he not in the squad? Why is he not in the squad? It's just baffling. So Cole, sorry, Daz, I was just looking at that. Cole Palmer just in response to it. Yeah, I mean, Cole Palmer, like he's made a great start to his Chelsea career, and I've got no doubt that he'll be a good player, and maybe today wasn't his best day, but I do in part put that down to us. I do think we stopped Chelsea from playing today, and there was so many good performances out there, and I know we'll touch on that later. But yeah, thanks again, Daniel, for the donation, mate. Really appreciate it.
Right, let us move on. Newcastle didn't go more defensive. They kind of went to a 4-5-1. Kind of just Isak up front. Chelsea threw on their subs. 72 minutes. Reece James gets sent off for a second yellow on a tackle on Gordon. Rightly sent off. Any disagreements there?
Harsh that. I thought it was really harsh. I really did.
It was a professional foul, though.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't kick off too much. He did look like completely shell-shocked, and then he just walked off. I mean, I know he's never going to change his mind anyway, but for me, I was a bit like, do you know why I say that? Because I actually thought it was quite similar to the Trippier Sterling mob. I thought it was quite similar in that I don't think there was that much in it. And at what point, who was it? It was Lascelles. That was more of a foul for me. When Lascelles slapped his arm in and it hit Nicholas Jackson in the face. That was a yellow. That was a yellow. That was a foul. But I personally thought the Reece James one was a little harsh. But I don't know what you boys thought. But that was just my initial thought.
Yeah, I think the Lascelles one was more obvious, and so was Joe Linton's one a bit, as Adam said earlier. I said he raised his arm a bit, but he closed his clothesline. Adam said, but look, let's move on from there. Yeah, 75 minutes. Great save, Chelsea on the Shars run and shot. You just love if that went in. If he buried that one, we'd be only giving it this. But yes, subbed in on the 80th minute. Isak off, Richie on. 82 minutes. Gordon goal, Flash with the goal. Miggy with the lovely pass in to Gordon. And let me get my picture. And we go to you, Pete, for your thoughts on Gordon's goal.
It was a brilliant goal. It started off a lovely outside of the football from Miggy Almiron. You don't really see him play passes like that very often, but it was a lovely ball through, and then it was all about Anthony Gordon after that. And Anthony Gordon showed why he's having such a fantastic season at Newcastle United. Just manipulated the ball really, really well, ran in, cut inside, bang, into the bottom corner, the only place that Sanchez couldn't get to. Absolutely brilliant goal. And this guy I tweeted out earlier with the video of the goal, and I said, England keep denying this guy. It's only at their peril. And to be fair, the more they deny him, the better it is for Newcastle, because we get him fresh, we get him rested, we give him the opportunity to play and have the opportunity to do what he did in this situation. And I'm really excited about Anthony Gordon and what he can do. 5 goals, 3 assists already, 8 goal contributions this season. I've said I think he can get to double figures on either goals or assists this season. And he's proving it right now. And it always seems to be that a player has to work harder to get an England call up in comparison to his counterparts down south. And he proved today. Cole Palmer, good player, talented player. Yeah, he's a good player. But it was proven today that in game, he didn't have a patch. He couldn't lace any of our fullbacks' boots. We had him in our pocket all game, and that was a big game for him. So stepping up against your old club, you've got to play and perform week in, week out. Take your penalties away. Penalties are penalties. Can you perform and show your ability in game? Anthony Gordon has proven that most weeks. Cole Palmer still hasn't yet. And I think it was really harsh to just shoehorn Cole Palmer into the England squad after scoring a penalty against Man City, in comparison to Gordon, who showed his form week in, week out over a longer period of time. But as I say, it's to Newcastle's benefit, and it was a great goal, a fantastic goal. And the fact that he walks off with his arms out, he's asking the question, he's saying, what more do I need to do?
True. Chris, your thoughts on your homeboy?
Oh, mate, for me, it was all about yes, he cuts inside and does a bit of work on the wing, to obviously put himself in that position. For me, it's the way he caresses the ball into the corner, and when you look at it back, he actually places it. A lot of players would have just smacked it as hard as they could. He literally, you can see, he has a little look up and he just places it in the corner where as Pete said, Robert Sanchez has got no chance of getting to it. But really cool, calm, collected, another fantastic finish. But yeah, I thought it capped off a brilliant performance from Anthony Gordon, and I was really, really pleased for him. And then obviously the 3 points were sealed for definite at that point.
Exactly, Chris. Right, but it wasn't over just yet because 85 minutes. We bring on a few more subs. Lascelles comes off. Miggy comes off. Then towards the real end, Gordon comes off. And Miley comes off. And we had Richie on, but we got some of our under 21s out as well to get a run out. Great to see them all getting a run out, and this man as well.
Yes,
the boy from Galway.
Alex Murphy when he come on,
run out. Yeah. Great to see him coming out. You won't get this, but there won't be a cow milked in Annadown tomorrow or tonight. But yeah, that's what we say in Ireland when someone has a really, really good game, or when a team have a good game. But anyway, fair play to Alex Murphy and getting some Premier League action, and yeah, he got a few touches as well, so he didn't look out of place. So final result 4-1 to us. What did you make of it?
Just absolutely filled with it, as I say. It was a massive 3 points, really, really important. I did have that element of doubt going into the game, as I said previously. With Chelsea's form recently. Funnily enough, before the game kicked off, me Liverpool mate said to me, he went, "It's the worst time to play Chelsea, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, cheers, yeah." Because before kick-off, I thought this is quite possibly the worst time to play Chelsea, and for us to perform the way we did, with a lot of key players out. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. Great to see Alexander Isak back on the score sheet. Lewis Miley, fantastic performance. Bruno back in the team, just doing what Bruno does. Tino Livramento looking brilliant at wing back, absolutely fantastic. Just loads of positive performances, and thankfully, touch wood, no more injuries. I didn't see any more injuries, so
yeah,
fingers crossed, unless we get told otherwise.
No, that was the most important thing as well as the result is the no injuries. But in summary, Pete, of the game, Anthony, you want to say about the result 4-1?
As I said at the beginning, it's a statement. It's a statement that we are a team that is going in the right direction. We're suffering massive injuries at the moment. Again, lost Willock before the game, but regardless of the injuries, we're still capable of putting out a top performance, and that was a top performance today. I was just in the other room, and I heard you talking about the young players that came on, and it was great to see them come on. Three players making their debut. I think Alex Murphy has a role to play in this squad. Maybe the other two slightly less. I genuinely do. This season, I mean, I'd be more than confident in putting him in because I saw him against Fiorentina, and I think he's a talented boy, and he can really, really step up in the next couple of years in football. But more importantly, we got the result, and we got the result against a team that everybody was talking about were going to beat us today.
Yeah,
everybody, all the media, all the opposition fans from Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Liverpool, all the rest of them. Those Chelsea boys those Chelsea fans came to St. James's today confident that they were going to wipe the floor with Newcastle. And time again, we prove the injuries, regardless of injuries, we can still put a team out there that have got heart, that have got fight, that have got determination, that can battle and can commit to any other team that they come up and play against. And they proved it again today. You look at Chelsea's team and you look at the stars that they have, you could argue that Chelsea's team is much better than Newcastle's, but it didn't show it today. Newcastle outfought them, outbattled them. We're a much fitter side than them, and it proved that later on in the game, which is why Reece James makes the type of, I didn't get a chance to mention it, but it was a second yellow card all day. He deserves to get sent off, and he makes that sort of tackle because he's tired. He's tired. Yeah. He hasn't got the fitness to get back into it, so he has to make that rash challenge. And in that moment, he forgets that he's got a yellow card already, and that's why he makes the decision that he does. But we're fitter and we're hungry, we're determined, and I'm absolutely buzzing at that result. It's such a big statement. I said to you, Daz, before we came on live and before Chris joined us, I said I'd even sidestep the PSG game this week on Tuesday to ensure that we beat Chelsea at home and we beat Man United at home, because I think those two games are bigger statements for Newcastle United in what we're going to do this season than going and trying to beat a PSG side. Can we win all three? Of course we can. But if you're asking me which one I prefer, I want that result at Man United next weekend. I want that result at St. James's Park. I want to pummel them into the ground. I want to make sure that we make another statement next weekend.
Yeah.
Nice one. You can argue with that. I want to beat PSG too, but I know I'm just greedy. Right, but yeah, here's the team photo as well. Great to see Willock in there, part of the team photo, and Targa in there as well. They're all in there. But, yeah, Elliot Anderson and the young lads as well up front. Nice one. Cool. Never get sick of seeing them. But yeah, Chris, that was it. That was it on the run through. Where do you want to go next?
I think we should go to ratings next. I mean, I don't know whether you boys want to go through individual ratings, or I mean, we always kind of struggle, don't we? Especially under Eddie Howe, because when we win, we tend to praise the players because it's normally a really fantastic team performance. So what I was thinking was, if you wanted to, we could just kind of, name our special highlight performance players, and we could, do our man of the match as well. I don't know what you boys think. Do you think that sounds okay?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. Brilliant. Do you want to kick us off, Daz?
Okay, I've given you my top three.
Yeah, your top three, and then your man of the match. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my top three, I'm going. God, it's even difficult to pick a top three.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bruno is in there. I thought he played really, really well. Back to his best. Lewis Miley. And I know as Adam has just put it in the chat as well, but I think we should do a bit of pointing and go.
He's a great age.
He is a great age. 17. What a performance from him. Anthony Gordon is up there as well. He scored a goal. Got an assist. Miggy as well ran his socks off and then back to his best. But if I go top three, I'm going to go Miley, Bruno, and Gordon, and I'm going to give it to Miley. 17, got an assist, played most of the game, just came off towards the end, and what a special talent, one for now and the future for us.
Brilliant. No, can't disagree with that, Dazzler. Cannot disagree with that. Pete, what about yourself? I know you said pre-show that there was a couple of players you wanted to speak about, so go for it, mate. Go for it. Oh, sorry. After you've got.
Yeah, no, I'm still getting over this, but there's a number of players I think played well across the board. You've got Tino Livramento, I thought was absolutely sensational today. Absolutely sensational. Playing left back for me, a position that he's not overly familiar with, but he just made it look his own. I thought Miguel Almiron was probably one of the best performers on the pitch today. Probably had one of his best games for Newcastle. Stretched the play, used the ball really well. Anthony Gordon, for obvious reasons, I've already spoken about him. Bruno Guimaraes literally ran that midfield. He ran that midfield. Chelsea, for all their billions that they've spent, $1 billion or whatever, how much they've spent, they would kill for a player like Bruno Guimaraes. Absolutely kill for him. Because for all the hundreds of millions they've spent on Caicedo and Enzo, they're not a patch on Bruno. And he showed that today. But man of the match, I'm going to give it to, as Dad said, Lewis Miley, 17 years old, coming in. And it's his second start in a row, because he started against Bournemouth. And actually for Bournemouth, he had a good game against Bournemouth. And actually we went downhill when he got sent off. When he got subbed off. And nobody really understood why he got brought off at that point, because he was still playing really well, but we lost something in that midfield. He's coming again today, and he has absolutely pocketed Enzo Fernandez. £105 million or 10 million, whatever it was, Enzo Fernandez absolutely pocketed him and showed him up. 17 years old. That's not to say he's going to start every game, but what it shows is his potential. And the fact that he got his assist today, first start at St. James's Park, I couldn't not give it to him. Fantastic performance.
Pete, just to ask you a question, and Daz, I'll ask you as well. Do you think that Lewis Miley is starting? I won't say he has, because obviously it's too early to say. But do you think Lewis Miley is starting to bridge the gap that there was between himself and Elliot Anderson? Obviously, we know Elliot Anderson. I think we said, didn't we, at the start of the season, Elliot Anderson's probably 12, 18, 24 months ahead of Lewis Miley. Do you think if Lewis Miley continues in this vein, that he will kind of be, on par with Elliot Anderson in terms of his thinking? Because we know now that Eddie Howe trusts Elliot Anderson. As far as we're concerned, Elliot Anderson is a first-team squad player, and that's just a fact. Do you think Lewis Miley is really starting to catch up with Elliot Anderson now in Eddie Howe's thoughts?
It's a hard one to say, and the reason being is because Elliot Anderson originally came into the squad as a left-sided forward, and he's had to learn to play in a midfield three. So, I don't want to kind of put that pressure on Elliot Anderson. He's established himself this season, and fair play to him, because he has played well when he's played in that midfield three. We didn't think he was always going to play in that position, whereas Lewis Miley is a central midfielder. He can play as a 6, he can play as an 8. He drifted between the two today and played very well in both. I do think long term, I do think the potential of Lewis Miley exceeds Elliot Anderson's, and that's just my opinion, because at 17 years old, he's already ahead of the progression of where Elliot Anderson was at 17 years old. So therefore, I see that he's got the potential to exceed him. And he's already at 17 years old getting exposure into a very good Newcastle United side, whereas Elliot Anderson didn't get that. So I think in the next 2 or 3 years, it's down to the players. They've got to prove themselves.
Absolutely.
But I do think that Lewis Miley has got the potential to be better than Elliot Anderson. He's got everything. He's 6'3" already. He's 17, and now he's probably going to be as tall as Dan Burn. But physically, he puts himself around the pitch. He's not the biggest in terms of frame. He's quite skinny, but he puts himself around like he's an absolute unit. And he's tall. He just, for such a tall player to manipulate the ball the way he does, it's not easy. It's not easy. And there was so much potential there for Lewis Miley. I expect in the next couple of years he'll be playing for the England under 21s. And then who knows if he plays regular for Newcastle, is he going to break through into the first team? But isn't it great that we've got young players coming through from the academy that we now deem as potentials, not just for Newcastle, but England. It's great to see. I've had Race for Europe boys blowing up my phone after the game, talking about Lewis Miley, and I told them about him at the beginning of the season. I said, "Watch out for this boy. He won't play every week."
I did as well with my boys.
And they say, and Sam, bless him, who puts the old videos together. I hope there's a good video today on Monday. of Newcastle winning, me and you boys buzzing and going absolutely mental because, he even said he watched the game and he said, Lewis Miley, he looks some player. 17 years old, just turned 17. Wow. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. In terms of my top three, I think I shared this with you boys pre-show. I think it was Bruno Gomes. I thought he's just so integral to this team, isn't he? I just thought he was absolutely unbelievable today. Lewis Miley, he's definitely in there. But my man of the match today is Anthony Gordon. I've got to pick Anthony Gordon.
You love him.
You know what? I think I love him even more because everybody hates him where I'm from, and they all knock him and go, "Oh, he's not that good, and what a waste of money and all that." And he just keeps constantly proving them wrong week in, week out. And like you said earlier, does goal and assists. And he, when he's not in the team, we really miss him. And what I like as well is Eddie Howe spoke about Anthony Gordon's attitude and the way that he's kind of stepped up. And Anthony Gordon must have, thought about, the likes of Harvey Barnes, and he's thought, I've got to really perform here. And he's really doing that. And he's saying this left wing position's mine, and I'm going to show how I want to be an important player for Newcastle, and I want to do well at Newcastle. And he's put all his Everton woes behind him, and he's really now an integral part of this team. So for me, I'm going to pick Anthony Gordon because I thought he was brilliant today.
Chris, is he the new Andy Carroll / Hatem Ben Arfa in your life?
No, I mean, no, that's going to no, it's going a bit far, Daz. He's got a way to go there, I'm afraid. He's got a way to go. But I'm not saying he can't get there. As Pete was saying earlier about Miley, there's no reason why he can't get there. But yeah, if he keeps performing like this, I think he will be some player for us in the coming years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
sure. Well,
yeah.
Maybe as we're considering where to go next, Chris, just want to give a few shout outs because Jamie Burton, he gifted one Loaded Mag membership. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
And Andrew as well has become a member. Thank you, Andrew. Diagonally, love it. Nice one. Also, Jamie is has his 18th month message, and he's putting that in. Wow. Love the show. Thanks all the hard work you guys do. However, the lads, thank you for that. Jamie. Harry also says, Harry from the States says, awesome result. Always enjoy the content and knowledge you guys bring for us that are in the States. So thank you, Harry. Much appreciated. And also, just one last thing I wanted to say is Keith is in the chat as well, and people are throwing a bit of abuse at him. Fair play to Keith. He does take some amount of abuse, and like, okay, I throw it a bit his way as well with the results, but he's only given his opinion on the time, so you can't knock that. But Dr. Doom will be back on our screens pretty soon. But thanks, Keith.
Cheers, Keith. Nice one, mate. You absolutely will. And we look forward to seeing him, and we look forward to his intro as well. So I can't wait for the next away days, and let's hope we get another 3 point. I'm saying that, yeah, we will be playing for 3 points, won't we, against PSG? So fingers crossed. But I do agree with what Pete said earlier. I must admit, going into that PSG game, I will have one eye on Man United. I'm not going to lie, because if we beat Man United next week as well, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Guys, just before we do move on, literally just fist through then, Matt's has become a member, a loaded ultra.
Cheers, Matt.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Dazzler, do we have any questions? Or Pete, sorry, do we have any questions in the chat?
We have some questions. So Bill asked the question, and I'll go in the order. Bill Ashby asked the question. Here's a question. Do how we think today's result will affect the League Cup fixture? So I suppose we were going to play Chelsea in the League Cup later on in December sometime as well. So will it affect the League Cup fixture? I don't think so. I think we're going to be in Stamford Bridge for that one. It depends what bodies we have available as well come that time. We have a lot of games between now and then.
What do you think, Pete?
I can see what he's saying, Bill. I can see what he's saying. Because after today's result, it becomes more important. It becomes a lot more important for Chelsea because Chelsea look like they're on this upward trajectory, and then all of a sudden they get halted by us. So therefore, they need something to uplift them, and getting into the semi-finals of a cup would uplift them. And certainly for Mauricio Pochettino, who wants to win a trophy at Chelsea, it could potentially raise their kind of need to win the game. So whereas they might have rested one or two players and played a few more, you might find they play more of their strongest team. Whereas on I think it's the 19th of December, if Newcastle are still struggling for injuries, you might have played like the likes of Dummett and one or two others again. But I don't know whether we're going to get that same grace. I don't know whether we're going to be able to get away with playing that type of team against Chelsea, because Chelsea are in a different moment. So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think that we've already proven this season, Man City at home, Man United away, we've been having to do it the hard way, but there's no reason why we can't go there and win.
Cool. Let's go to, I think Pete already answered this one, Jamie, on Willock. I think so. We'll towards the start. This one from Leon asked, do you think we would be challenging if we had a full squad right now?
It's a great question.
With Liverpool and Man City drawing today as well. And what was the result in the Arsenal game? It was 0-0 when I saw it. Well,
I think they nicked it, didn't they? Did it finish 1-0?
Did they?
Havertz scored at the end.
Is he playing left back? No?
No, he wasn't playing left back, no.
All right. Well, that puts Arsenal top then, I presume. Actually, I have it in front of me here. Yes. Yeah, it does.
Yes.
We would challenge. We would be up there. A full strength squad. We beat Wolves away. We beat West Ham away. There might be a couple of other results in there where we took points.
Do we lose to Bournemouth, Pete?
No, we at least take a point. So you're looking at least 5 points there added onto that total. You add it onto what we've currently got in the Premier League. You're looking at 28 points. You're looking at us being in that top four, and that's the difference. Then you go, if you want to be particular, you go back to the Liverpool game. That still annoys the hell out of me. The fact that we lost that game, we should have at the minimum took a point, and we lost that game. So there's your frustrations. And I think with a full strength squad to choose from, I actually think we go to Brighton and give a better account of ourselves without Botman being in the team. That was a massive loss for us. And that's where the injuries started to kick in. So, look, you look at that, I'm confident in this squad of players when they're all fit, and we need them all fit. And this is why we need to go into that window and get 2 or 3 players to almost say to the players that are fit, are unfit, these guys are going to come in and do a job. It's now your job to get fit and prove that you're better than these. And this is how it should be. This is what a competitive squad should look like.
And I'd argue as well. I don't know if Daz critique me here, but are we not competing? Are we not competing? I mean, we're 7 points off top. We've got a lot of players to come back. Pete spoke about this since the start of the season, and I can't disagree. If we can navigate ourselves and be in and around 5th or 6th place when we come to New Year, we're in a fantastic position. We've seen that City can be got at. We've seen that Arsenal aren't all that. We've seen that Liverpool, as good as they are going forward, they are still, for me, a little bit weak in midfield, and defensively you can get at them. I'm not ruling us out from really, and I won't say competing for the title, but strongly competing. Certainly within the top 2, top 3. I really wouldn't rule it out, because as soon as our players start coming back, and if we carry on performing the way we are, and then we get those touches of extra quality, and these lads are going to be coming back fresh with new impetus, full of energy, ready to go. I don't see why not. We're not that far off the top, and if we can start picking up maximum points in the next few games, and other teams continue to drop points, why not? Why not?
Cool. Sorry, Pete, go on.
No, I was just gonna drop this on the screen. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the fixtures?
Yeah.
Forget the Champions League now. I said this to Daz before we came on. You look at this. So we got the win against Chelsea. We've got Man United next, then Everton, then Tottenham. We get a win against Man United. It sets us up nicely for the Everton-Tottenham game, where hopefully we'll get a few players back. We've got Fulham, Luton, and Forest, all around the Christmas period. So they're not bad fixtures. We've still got to win them, but they're not bad fixtures to have. But then we have a really difficult January, and this is the point that I made to Daz before we came on here. That's a really tough January. Away at Liverpool, January the 1st, home to Man City, and away at Villa. But after that period, after January, we've played Villa twice, we've played Man City twice, and we've played Liverpool twice. So 3 of the potential top 6 or 7, we've already played twice in the Premier League. So we don't have to worry about those fixtures anymore for the rest of the season. Against arguably your winners of the league in Man City, your runners-up in Liverpool, and a team that could be fighting out with you for the Champions League before the end of the season in Villa, and we've already beaten them 5-1 our place. And so there, it looks so much more positive, because I could keep going through the rest of the fixtures. I'm not going to do that. But there are moments within the season, and they might change with cup competitions and stuff. I mentioned this to Daz earlier. Like if we're in the Europa League or the Champions League, if we're in the FA Cup still, Carabao Cup maybe, it changes things slightly, fixtures. But we've got a number of nice runs of fixtures between now and the end of the season after that period. And I just think if we can navigate ourselves to that Liverpool fixture and be within the top 8 or so, and we're in touching distance, and we're fighting, and we're still in a European competition, we can properly attack the season, because we're going to get the rest of the squad back in January. We'll know what's happening with Botman. We'll know what's happening with Wilson by then. We're likely to have by January Willock fit, depending on how long he's out for. And a lot of the injuries are going to be eased up. But as we've mentioned before, for the transfer shows, we'll potentially have 2 or 3 players maybe added to that squad. That improves things massively. Mm-hmm. And I just think we're in a great position. We are still navigating ourselves and winning matches like today, even though we've got so many players injured. That just shows the strength of the team and where we are right now. I mean, we've got a full squad to choose from. We're in a position where we can really dominate games and really go at teams and cause a lot of problems. And games like Luton's and Forest, with a full-strength squad, you could potentially wipe the floor with those teams with the options that we've got available. I'm excited about what we potentially could do. I really am.
Yeah.
Lads, something I want to say here as well, and against my better judgment, I'm going to disagree with Lisa on this one. I know Lisa has actually dropped out of the chat, but she might see this again. She says Lascelles was shocking at times today. Thank God he scored and redeemed himself. I didn't think he was. I thought he did okay. Okay, it was that mistake that led to the free kick that led to the goal, but I thought he did okay in the game. Any thoughts on Lascelles?
I thought he played reasonably well. Yeah.
Now Lisa was at the game, so she might have a different perspective for you as well.
Yeah, true.
He gave away a couple of free kicks. He gave that free kick away just after half time, where I think it might have been Jackson that he found. He kind of just got away from him. But in terms of the way he used the ball, his positioning, he made clearances. We never looked like. This is the thing that I'm saying is that you've got a star-studded Chelsea. Yes, they've got players out, but they still came with a star-studded Chelsea that they've spent a lot of money on coming to St. James's Park today, and they barely created anything in game. The only goal they scored was a set piece, and it was a very good one. Like, albeit Pope might have got something to it. That's a separate argument.
Yeah.
But that's all they did. They didn't create anything in the second half. Nothing whatsoever. They didn't even look like scoring the goal second half. And you've got to put credit down to the defence and how they organise themselves. And Shaw and Lascelles, Nick Pope, the fullbacks, Livramento and Trippier, you've got to give them some credit. Definitely.
Yeah.
But I know it's carrying on in the chat because Ian and Geordie Tune for Life are having a debate on kind of who was at fault. I think Ian is saying Pope and Lascelles. Is Geordie Tune for Life? I can't remember who's saying, but he's Geordie Tune for Life also there with the classics Specsavers of Monday, Ian. But yeah, all that.
I think he was wrong-footed. I didn't mention anything on that free kick. I think he was wrong-footed. I think he went to his side because he expected it was more of a knuckleball. Raheem, he did a Ronaldo, and I think he expected it to be in the corner that he was at, so he almost moved, like he almost kind of adjusted his body to go into that corner to make the save. And he didn't expect that he was going to change the way in which the direction of the ball went, and it literally went the other side. And with a knuckleball, it can drift, it can move in air. We've seen it with Ronaldo all throughout his career. He's done that to goalkeepers, and it was almost like he'd literally knuckleballed it, and it's drifted left. And yeah, there's an argument that he could have probably got to it, but if he's kind of in his mind gone with right, I'm going this side, because I think he's going this side. It's hard to have a go at him for, because if he'd have then pulled off an amazing save and guessed the right way, we'd have gone, wow, Nick Pope's quality.
Yeah, it's true. It's fine lines, isn't it? Minor margins.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right, lads, have we got any more questions in there, Daz?
Let's see. Yeah, Captain Kefhart has a one here. Wouldn't Big Dan Burn is fit? Would you drop Tino for him? I'm going to say I don't want Tino to ever be out of our team ever again. I think he I don't care where he plays. I just love seeing him in our team. And I think he's I know he's a future, but he's our present as well. He's class. So maybe big Dan Burn gets back into the team, but Tino plays somewhere else. I want him on the pitch.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you, Daz. I think for me, if Tino Livramento continues to play the way he is and he makes that left back position his own, Dan Burn has. I wouldn't drop Tino for him. Dan Burn would have to earn his place back, and that would be either Tino suspended or injured, and God forbid he won't be, or Dan Burn would have to really impress in training. So it would be up to Dan Burn to win his position back. But if Tino carries on playing the way he's playing, I agree, Daz. I don't want to see him out the team, and I don't believe he'll come out the team either.
Yeah, I said the other day to you, I think it might have been to you, Chris. I said, I think I asked the question: Is this? I think it might have been on away days. I said, "Is this the moment now that Dan Burn loses his spot?" I mentioned it because for those reasons. How do you keep Livramento out of the team? This is always going to be the case. We said it in the summer when he signed. People said, "How's he going to get in with Trippier?" Blah blah blah. Is it going to be a left back position? I still think there's going to be a similar situation later on in the season with Lewis Hall, because I think Lewis Hall will come good when he gets his fitness levels up and he starts playing a bit more football, because he's now back available after not being able to play against Chelsea. So this is it. You've got a young, hungry couple of fullbacks there that want to play football for Newcastle United. Lewis Hall is a fan. Tino Livramento is desperate to prove his worth and get in. He didn't come to sit on the bench for Newcastle United, but he knew he had to bide his time. He's bided his time now. He wants to play regular football, and fair play to him, because he was superb today.
Question for you, Chris. Were you surprised not to see Tonali starting today from your away days?
I was thinking then, why is he asking me that?
I'm only joking.
Yeah, no, do you know what? Do you know what was nice? It was nice to hear, I don't know if you boys saw it, it was nice to hear Eddie Howe in the press conference. Actually, I've got a question for you boys after following that. It was nice to hear Eddie Howe say in the press conference how well Tonali is training. So that was really nice to hear. But what I want to ask you boys, and I'm going slightly off topic here, but Eddie Howe again was asked about Sven Botman. And he is being, I don't know if you boys noticed this, but he is being incredibly coy over Sven Botman. And I may have said this to you on away days, Pete, or we may have said it in a different show. I wonder if it was a Sean Casey show. I'm not sure which one it was. But for me, I think one day that lineup is going to come out from Newcastle and it's just going to have Sven Botman in the team. I don't think he's going to be out that long. I don't know what it is. I just don't see it. I mean, did you boys pick up on that from the press conference? He just doesn't want to talk about Sven Botman. And I think he was asked, how long's Sven Botman got, or how severe is his injury? And he's like, don't want to talk about it. And it was like, right, okay. Did you boys pick up on that?
Go on, Dad. Go on.
I didn't hear that bit. I heard the bit about Tonali, all right, but I don't recall hearing that bit. So much going on that day, actually.
I listened to the press conference, and he was coy on all the injuries. He didn't want to give anything away from anyone. He didn't even want to give away the fact that Isak was available, and we all knew
that was funny.
Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't want to say too much. And it was all to not give the game plan away to Pochettino, and I get that and I respect it. What I took away from Sven Botman, we've got to remember there was an article or a couple of articles that were put out that said that he may well need surgery if his knee doesn't kind of hold, if it doesn't continue to hold up. But it looked like last week, not even this week being the building up to the game, but last week he'd been working on it and it hadn't swollen up. And it could well be that they've given this a second week to see if he's still training, and if it holds up, they may give him a third week this week. And if he gets through 3 weeks of training regular, I think he did 1.5 weeks before he broke down again. If he gets through 3 weeks, it would not surprise me. Maybe not the Man United game, but maybe looking at the Everton-Tottenham game as a ballpark opportunity to bring him back in. It wouldn't surprise me that he's back for those games. Could be wrong, but if he breaks down again, then I think they're going to have to give him the surgery. But that puts him back to this will put him back now to mid-February. So I think that's maybe why he's been a little bit coy on Sven Botman, because I think they're waiting to see if there's a reaction to his knee injury. Because I don't think they want to do the surgery, but I think they will have to if it continues to swell up, and that's the big problem. But going on to Tonali, I had a message from Charlie, who was on our away days, and he was at the game today. And the message was he's going to be signing for his next summer. Don't you worry about it. And Charlie got a picture with Sandro Tonali.
Well played, Charlie. Well played.
That's class.
Yeah. In fact, let me tell you the actual words that he put, because he dropped me this message just earlier on. Well, it was actually whilst we're on live. Yeah, his words were, he's coming down south next summer, with the laughing emoji. But big up to Charlie. He made the journey up, level 7, up in the gods. To watch that. I don't think he was best pleased with it, as he's already alluded to. But hey, this is what happens when you come to St. James's Park, mate. You very rarely go home happy. But look, hopefully all the Newcastle fans look after him in the city. I think he's staying over. So look after Charlie and all the Chelsea fans. We've got Lewis as well, Carefree Lewis G, who is up there with Charlie for the game. Also been on the channel too. So look after those boys and make them feel welcome, because they do have a lot of time and respect for Newcastle United. So fair play to them. But obviously we've got the
drowning the Sottos as they speak.
Yes.
No doubt. Pete, a question for you from Matt, because Matt has a few questions in, so I want to go to this one. You're about 3 minutes away from cooking Lawless on the 12th man. How does it feel? And of course, D will definitely get cooked, I think.
Honestly, the chat when it was getting towards the latter stages of the Burnley game was getting interesting. People were ready. People were readying things. You can imagine Sam Hart was already preparing his video, and then it all went to pot. Even as it was a draw. So yeah, I think Lawless has escaped that one. That's for sure. But I have to say, he's already getting pounded at the moment. Sorry, it's not. Looking good, Brev. It's not looking good for him. He's in a difficult position because he's got Maz. Maz only turns up when Brighton win and Palace lose. So imagine going at D and all the rest of it. But yeah,
that forfeit isn't looking good now, is it? The way it's panning out that they had. So
and
back to you, Chris.
And he'll have a very smug Lawless as well to deal with.
Yeah.
No.
Worth watching. Check that out. Probably Monday night, is it, Pete?
Yes. Monday night.
What's that? To be fair, I think it will be Monday, but I await Potts to let me know what's happening. But yeah, it should be Monday. That'll be interesting. I'll be there, kind of with a big smile on my face, just like it is now. Probably with the two clubs in the background, just to let people know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Nice. Brilliant, thank you, Daz. So on that point, I think I'll go straight to the sponsors, unless anyone's got any other comments or points or anything else you'd like to say about today's game. And I'm sure that we could probably talk all night about today's game. But yeah, has anyone got any other comments or anything they wanted to add?
Peters too.
Oh, the balloon!
Brings the balloons up. It's never quite a show without me getting some sort of stuff randomly popping up. Two things from me. Firstly, Jamal Lascelles. This guy has really, really turned his career around. And I think he 100% deserves his flowers because this guy was... fans were desperate for this, for Jamal Lascelles, our club captain, to leave the club. They wanted him gone. And look, maybe in 6 months' time he will be, because he's only got 6 months left on his contract. But I tell you what, if he does go, he should go with the absolute respect and the kind of acknowledgement from the Newcastle fans. I'm sure he will. Because not only did he drag us through in a really dark moment under kind of sort of like, Rafa Benitez in the moments where we got relegated, became captain and took on the team. But right now, he's coming in and filling in for arguably our best centre-back and performing fantastically well, getting clean sheets, scoring goals, and playing well as a unit with Fabian Shaw. And I kind of, the reason why I want to talk about it is I kind of feel sorry for him, because it's almost like his career under Steve Bruce has been wasted. Like he was playing well and being talked about as a potential England centre-back. And a lot of fans thought, nah, he's not good enough for England. And I'm not saying that he is right now, but, in the height of his career, in the peak of his career, his moments were under Steve Bruce. And if he had had a quality manager coaching him, who knows what he would have been capable of? Because let's face it, him and Lewis Dunk were kind of neck and neck when we both got promoted to the Premier League. And Lewis Dunk's gone there because he had quality coaching. And Jamal Lascelles has stayed at that level. And I kind of feel sorry for him. And we weren't to know that this was the case. But now we're seeing a quality coach getting an arm around him, and you've seen him playing the way he is. And the captain is this club. He loves playing for this club, and he's so determined to be the best he can be. And I respect that. And there's a question that we'll need to discuss, probably in the Funny Little Transfer shows, is with his 6 months left on his contract, will he get a new deal? It's not to be answered right now, but will he get a new deal? He might well not. He may well get a new deal. I don't know. The second one for me is that this game today was won by Eddie Howe. And N9NE, N9 in the chat, he put a comment on my tweet afterwards, and he was thinking exactly what I was thinking with regards to this game. This game was an absolute Eddie Howe masterclass. Absolute masterclass. Now, for me, the reason why I thought it was a masterclass is because his approach to the game was very different to every other game that he's gone into, particularly at St. James's Park. And it was very different to a number of games like your Palaces and your other games, is that he was very methodical about his approach from his team. The way we set up was very reserved, and we had to reserve our players. So there's a lot of people talking about Alexander Isak. Oh, we need to sub him off. We need to protect him. We need to look after him. I thought Alexander Isak managed himself perfectly today. I thought he wasn't all action, pressing, running all the time. He did it in moments. He did it in splurts over the course of the game. And I thought he managed himself perfectly. And that's because Eddie Howe's told him to do that. The way in which we were intense in moments, we were reserved in moments. We played moments in that game as a counter-attacking team, and moments in that game where we were the aggressors, where we attacked them and we pressed them and we put pressure on them. And I don't think Pochettino expected that from Newcastle United. He expected us at St. James's Park to be intense and to go at them. And he expected his team to pick Newcastle off on the counter-attack. And we outworked Mauricio Pochettino today. And that's because of Eddie Howe. Now, for me, everyone's talking about Unai Emery. Everyone's talking about Mikel Arteta. Everyone's talking about, quite rightly, Pep Guardiola as a fantastic manager, and quite rightly, Jurgen Klopp. But you cannot tell me any different that Eddie Howe is one of the best managers in this country right now. Because not only is he a good manager because he's got a style of play and an identity that Newcastle United are playing right now, he has the ability to do things that some of those other managers that are really good in this game are not able to do. He has a plan B and a plan C, depending on the team that he plays against. Mikel Arteta barely has a plan A at times. He definitely doesn't have a plan B. Jurgen Klopp has been questioned by Liverpool fans at times. He has a superb plan A, but very rarely has a plan B. And there's a number of other managers, Unai Emery, the same. He has a very much a set style of play that he plays, a high line, intense press. But after that, he doesn't know how to navigate his team. Eddie Howe has 1, 2, 3 different plans, at least, for how he manages that. And he doesn't get the respect that he deserves. He has been absolutely sensational since he's come into this club. And this season was always going to be a test for him, playing Champions League football. And I tell you what, in these moments, with injuries and with players that he wouldn't necessarily play, and playing in these games, he is still navigating us through games, playing a different style of football depending on the team we play against. And he has to get that respect because he is doing things that I didn't think Eddie Howe would be doing. I thought it'd be one style, one approach. We do it regardless. He's changing his approach and it's having such a massive effect, particularly this season, on the club. Absolutely brilliant today. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah. Completely agree, mate.
He should get his own team tune.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, I think you wanted to go to sponsors.
Yes, I will quickly wish to sponsors. So big shout out to the radiatorsheds.com, to Russ and the lads. They, as you will all know, they provide top quality materials made from plate steel, providing longevity, all designed and manufactured in Italy. Aluminium rods are environmentally friendly and are perfect for the heat source pumps. They offer a home survey service and will install as required. And as you will all know, Russ and his rads, which are absolutely lovely. Daz, I know you mentioned the other day, didn't you, that they were going to be, putting up some new ones. So we look forward to seeing those. But don't these look lovely? And doesn't Russ look lovely? That's what we've got to say with our number 9 there, Callum Wilson. Big shout out as well to Northeast Partnership, the In-Store Works, Russ's sister company, and loads of mag on the van. That's the that's the big one. I love that. I'd love to see that van. We'll have to get some more pictures of the van as well, Daz. We'll have to have some more pictures of the van.
Yeah, there's another van with more pictures on it, actually.
Van picture?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I have the pictures on. They're somewhere, but
we can show off the van. We should get the van on like 6 different angles. Love it.
I want to get a picture beside the van.
Yeah.
We should.
No, that'd be good. Also, big massive shout out to H2O Bathroom Design Company. Gonna put a little shower. I was trying to put a shower on Pete. I forgot there's not 4 of us. It's not gonna work. Not gonna work. Thank you, Pete. Thank you for trying. Appreciate that. But as we know, gorgeous bathrooms. Pete and Daz, we know not to show the girls these pictures because they always go on at us saying that they would love one of these bathrooms. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. They are really, really nice. So yeah, give us a shout out, and no doubt he will give you a discount. I know we're always a bit sketchy on that, but I'm sure if you go up and say we watch Loaded Mag, I reckon Ross will give you the discount 100%. Don't forget, if you're not a member, why not? Ask yourself why not. We do monthly giveaways. Come and become a Loaded Ultra. It's £1.99 a month. You can't do it on your mobile phones. You would need to do it on a laptop, a PC, a tablet. For some reason, you can't do it on your phone. So if you'd like to become a member, click join, come and join the community and be a Loaded Ultra. Don't forget, you will also find us on Spotify and iTunes. So you will find Loaded Mag on there. And I think, boys, that's about it. The last thing I want to say.
You've done all the pictures.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It's been so long. I thought, why not? Go through the brochure. But the last thing I want to say is a big, massive thank you to everyone for watching. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like. Make sure you comment throughout the show, which I know you've all been doing, and big, massive thank you for that. And don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We are on our way to 7K, and we're trying our very best to get there. So big, massive shout out to you all there, and thank you very much. Anything else, boys? Anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to say?
No, all good for me.
We all good?
We're all good. Thanks for everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we will be back very soon. I think the next show will probably be. When are we there, Daz? What are we saying the next show is going to be?
We have to talk about that.
Hold the horses. We need to talk after we go off air. There may be an away days in the offing.
Ooh.
And Pete, you were trying to count.
That's why I was hesitating. I wasn't sure.
You were trying to count up how many we scored today, but I have a man that might be able to help you. Love Murphy. But yeah, I think that all that's left to say, Chris, is.
Oh, I've got to let one of you boys do it. Pete, I know you had 4 fingers up. Can you stick an extra finger up and just close them fingers for me?
65. I do like that.
How you like